It's All-Star time. We have rosters for all 4 teams. And we now know where the 2021 All-Star event will take place. Plus, we hear from an ex-player who's still in the league but wearing a different uniform. The stars are in alignment and heading to Wichita. Details right now on this episode of ECHL Week.
Welcome to another edition of ECHL Week. This time we come to you from the banks of the Ohio River in Wheeling, West Virginia at the West Banco Arena, home of the Wheeling Nailers. As is often the case, it was a very busy week in the ECHL. Let's check out all the details. It's almost All-Star time. Representatives from every team will converge on Wichita next week for the ECHL's 25th mid-season get-together. Teams of players representing both the Eastern and Western conferences will do battle with a pair of teams comprised of members of the host Thunder. The 2 Thunder teams, the Bolts and the Hammers, have been selected. Team captains Riley Weslowski and Stefan Fournier made the choices. A quick look at the rosters shows that Team Hammers has just 2 defensemen. However, in a 3-on-3 tournament with brief running clock games, that might not make much difference. What always does make a difference is quality goaltending. Evan Wenninger will be between the pipes for Team Bolts. Mitch Gillum, who was on the Eastern team last season while he was a member of the Worcester Railers, will be in goal for Team Hammers. Team captains for the Conference All-Stars have been named. Logan Rowe from Florida will lead the East. Taylor Richard, also the captain of the Utah Grizzlies, will wear the C for the West. We caught up with a couple of first-time All-Stars to get their impressions about the opportunity to attend what is always a very special event.
I was pretty surprised when I got the news, but I mean, it's a great opportunity, and I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, it was very exciting. You know, it's always an honor to be able to represent your team throughout the league. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Wichita's one of my favorite arenas in the league, and it's gonna be a good couple days.
It's all about fun, having fun playing the game, and you know, when you're having fun, you're having success, and you know, it's just one of those things. I'm just gonna go out and show what I can do, and have some fun while I'm doing it.
Me staying on the ice and not having those days off is it's very beneficial, especially since I missed the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You lose some stuff sitting out, and it is nice to be able to stay on the ice and keep my skills sharp and get back ready for the second half of the season.
Note that the rosters for all teams are subject to change, especially because several All-Stars are currently playing in the American Hockey League. Make sure to follow ECHL Week on Twitter to keep up to date with any late roster changes. The rules for the mini-games are the same as last year. Make sure to pay attention because the games go very quickly. However, there are 3 scheduled breaks between the sets of games for the skills contests, the lineups for which have been named. Included this season will be 4 members of the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association, all of whom have won Olympic or World Championships or both. You can watch the action unfold as the event is shown live on NHL Network with Wichita Thunder broadcaster Jason Miles, Allen Americans play-by-play man Tommy Daniels, and analyst Neil Smith handling the announcing duties. And don't forget, we'll recap the All-Star activities and hear from the members of the 13th class of the ECHL Hall of Fame on our next show, which debuts on January 31st. News from around the league, including info about next year's All-Star Classic, straight ahead on ECHL Week.
The ECHL season is here, and ECHL TV is your ticket to all the action. With streaming to your PC, phone, tablet, Apple TV, Chromecast, and Amazon Fire TV, you'll never miss a moment of the action. Plus, you can watch up to 4 games at once on PC with Quad View. Watch live or on demand with both home and away commentary. Single game and season passes are available. Visit ECHL.tv to subscribe.
Hi, I'm Taylor Richard of the Utah Grizzlies, and you're watching ECHL Week.
It's time for our weekly look at news from all around the ECHL. The 2020 ECHL All-Star Classic is around the corner, but planning is now underway for the 2021 event, which will be hosted by the Jacksonville Icemen. That game will be staged on January 18th, 2021, and will include the annual ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The unanimous vote of the Board of Governors recognizes the interest that the Icemen have generated in northeastern Florida since they first took the ice for the 2017-18 season. Jacksonville is third in the ECHL with an average attendance of almost 6,300 per game this season. We thank the ECHL for recognizing the tremendous support our fans have given us, said Iceman President Bob Arablo. It's truly an honor to host this event. Speaking of next season, a Toledo versus Detroit game is now on the schedule, although it won't count in the standings. The Toledo alumni hockey team will go up against the Detroit Red Wings alumni during the Winterfest event in Toledo on Wednesday, December 30th. The alumni battle, part of the outdoor festival to be held at Toledo's Fifth Third Field, will also include the ECHL's third and fourth ever outdoor games, featuring the Walleye against yet-to-be-determined opponents. The trading deadline arrives on March 5th, but a number of teams are already making moves to alter their rosters. That was evidenced by a pair of three-team swaps this week. First, Adirondack reacquired forward John Edward from Cincinnati and also added defenseman Alex Jekyll from Norfolk. The Admirals obtained defender Gabriel Burpass, who spent most of the 2015-16 and 16-17 seasons with Norfolk, and forward Alex Tange in the exchange of players. Another forward, Philippe Poudon, went from Norfolk to Adirondack and ended up with the Cyclones. Edward, who has 11 goals this season, is a key player in the deal. He averaged more than a point a game with the Thunder last season. Burpass, who's played with 6 ECHL clubs, was Adirondack's penalty minute leader at the time of the trade. Udon, in his first full pro season, has 7 goals this year. The other trade was more straightforward. Maine acquired forward Connor Bleakley from Idaho and sent forward Taylor Camerata to Orlando, which in turn moved a third forward, Colby McCauley, to the Steelheads. The key in this trade would seem to be Bleakley. He had 13 points in 18 games with Idaho this season, but considering he's got 132 games of experience in the AHL, he should be a valuable piece for the Mariners as long as he remains with them. A North Division highlight game, plus the story of a former player who's still in the league, wearing a different uniform. Next on ECHL Week.
This is ECHL Week.
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 And the number one source for ECHL news, ECHL Week.
Roll over.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
I'm Tyler Sheehy of the Allen Americans, and you can find me on Instagram at TylerSheehy22.
Longtime fans may remember that back in the days when it was known as the East Coast Hockey League, the Wheeling team was known as the Thunderbirds, and they had a fair amount of success in the mid-90s. Now let's take a look at our highlight game of the week.
That is not wrong. We can talk about that a later shot as Olsen fires and scores! Him and Piero Zabotel will switch, and Piero Zabotel drags it top of the line. His shot blocked away by Henry. Rebound in front, and Popagayev is there to blast it home. Payne out on the ice now. Top of the line, his shot blocked away by Pirog. And here goes Nick Pirog. A shorthanded breakaway. Pirog and a save from McAdam. 8 points against Adirondack this season and a turnover. And here's a breakaway chance, shorthanded for Adirondack. Phelan tucks it and scores. Drew Callan shields it away on his backhand below the left circle. Cuts to the front. Save made by McAdam before being run into by his own teammates. Turcotte turnaround shot. Olsen finds it and scores! Linhart going through center, knocked away by Pirog, and here comes Barry Almeida. 2-on-1 rush for the Railers at Theory. Over to Thomas, to the back end, and they score! It's a great defensive play in the neutral zone, led to a 2-on-1 rush. Almeida streaking down the left side, a diagonal feed to Thomas. Minute 56 left, Pirog out of the box, now 5-on-4. Sissons unloads, wow! Down in the splits, Evan Buitenhuis makes the glove save. High slot to Sissons. Sissons will shake away from pressure. Back out to Summers. His shot redirected. Boots, another save. 3 seconds to go. The Railers increase their win streak to 4 games, prevailing 3-2 over the Adirondack Thunder, and Evan Buitenhuis, 46 saves.
Hi, I'm Roman Emirato of the Norfolk Admirals, and you're watching ECHL Week.
Here's the story of a man who traded in his player's uniform so he could wear black and white. Longtime ECHL fans may remember a better-than-average defenseman who played over 3 seasons with Reading and later briefly with Kalamazoo. His name is Denny Urban. Although his playing career ended in 2016, he's still in the ECHL as a part-time linesman. He talks about his decision to stop playing.
I was expecting my first child. I finished off my career over in Germany, and I didn't want to take my first kid away from his grandparents.
Just like players, game officials review their work on video, plus they get advice from the league's officiating development coaches.
As an official, we do have access to the videos, but we are reviewing that on our own. So we don't get to see the finer details that someone else can see. So having these development coaches and people that have been an official for a long time come into the games and giving you a different viewpoint of what they see from up top than what you see on the ice really helps. Right now, I'm in a pretty good situation where this has given me a lot of the fix that I need, and I'm really enjoying the experience and the time to get back on the ice and still be involved in the game, but not have to travel as much.
That wraps up another edition of ECHL Week from the Timekeeper's Box at the West Banco Arena in Wheeling, West Virginia. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on all our social media channels. We've got a bunch of them, including Pinterest now, too. And listen to our podcast. You can learn a lot about the ECHL. See you next time.